Hi, my name is Sonia Choquette. Are you recognizing that your inner senses are starting to come online and you're not quite sure how to make this more comfortable for yourself, but you want to? Well, my name is Sonia Choquette, and today we are going to talk about how to strengthen and stabilize your inner guidance system so that it works for you instead of works against you. First thing is, if you're new to my channel, thanks for coming. I think your intuition guided you here, and so happy you're here. We are talking about how to evolve into a fifth dimension version of ourselves. So that doesn't mean we're going to become space aliens, but it does mean we're going to be more conscious, more attuned to energy, more empowered, make better decisions, feel connected to the universe, move away from fear, become master manifestors, all of these things that are our divine heritage that you have to some degree have already succeeded in doing, but we're going to learn to do it super well. Today's conversation is about bringing your intuition online. So if you're new, stick around and let's get to it. The first thing you want to do if you really want to sharpen your intuition is quit arguing with the fact that you have it. Not only do we all have it? Even science now agrees we all have an inner guidance system. The questions have evolved into, how does it work? Not, does it exist? So if you're in that does it exist consciousness, that's so last century, and things do evolve. Even yesterday, I read in Popular Mechanics magazine that science has discovered every cell in our body is conscious. Of course it is. Spiritual teachers have been saying that forever. It's what I've been teaching, and it's why we're intuitive. So let's just accept that's my new normal. That's my new normal. And don't try on any level to change anybody else's mind about this because A, you won't, and B, so what if they don't believe you? It works for me. That's my mantra. I trust my inner guidance. I trust my vibes. It works for me. And so now that we're going to just put that conversation aside, let's go to a much more interesting one, which is, well, how does it work for me? That's the exciting one. Let's start looking at how your inner guidance system works, because it's more than one channel. So maybe yours is a channel that works with what we call clairvoyance. We have an inner eye. We have a center in our inner eye. It's the place where you imagine things. So if you are someone that can imagine easily, if you can see things if in your mind's eye, if you can visualize it, if you use expressions like, I see what you're saying, I see what you mean, just spontaneously, that's an indication that your inner eye is trying to come online, and it does work. It just needs a little bit of attention. Or maybe you're somebody who works with the sense that we call clairaudience. Now, it's a hearing sense, but it's not hearing sound. It's hearing vibration. It's hearing it not just through your ears, but through your whole body. So if you're someone who's, that doesn't sound right, or that doesn't just does it. One of my clients said, that doesn't ping, or that just doesn't resonate. All of that is an indication of clairaudience, where you're listening to energy. And the energy, just rub your hands together like this, and you'll feel that energy coming in and out. You're listening with your whole being, that clairaudience. And one of the ways that shows up is like you feel like someone's talking to you inside, but it's not like a audible voice. It's just like an inner conversation. That's right, or that doesn't feel right, or you should go there. This is a good idea. So if you're aware of an inner guidance that's not your talking head picking on you and criticizing you, it's a few words kind of nudging kind of inner guidance. It's just like, go there, do that, or that's your clairaudience. Now, the next thing is you might be someone who's what I call a clairsensing. It's not just me. What is called a clairsensient, which is you sense things. Now, we say you feel, but that gets confused with emotion. You sense the energy of a sensation of if something is resonating as true or congruent or aligned. You can sense, for example, if someone doesn't feel good, even though they say I'm fine, or you can sense there's something wrong with this picture. You can sense something's off, something's not right. That is a clear sentient. It just means a clear view, a clear interpretation, a clear sense. So maybe you're one of those people. One of the indications of being a clairsentient is that you're sensitive to energy. For example, do you cry at parades? Do you get overwhelmed at Disney on Ice? Do you find that when people are having a big emotional experience, you're having it with them? That's a clairsentient. So starting there is a starting point. Now, ideally, we want to open up all these channels, but we don't just want to turn on all the system all at once because we'll get flooded. What you want to do next is once you recognize where your inclination is, the next thing you want to do is get clear about your priorities, because it's only useful to develop this inner guidance to assist you in your goals and your priorities. What are they? Now, I'm not talking about your life plan. I'm talking about today. We can even shorten that to this morning. That's how your intuition works. It works with the compass that you set from your free will and your intentions, because that's where we're here to do, is to live a life of choice, clarity, and intention, a creative life. So if you want your intuition to help you, you want to give it instructions in what way? I want to get from A to B. I want to move somewhere. I want to go somewhere. I want to find a job. I want to find a partner. I want to get a good doctor. I want to find a new place to live. I want to have a great vacation. Whatever that is, be clear, because that helps your intuition hone in on how to direct your attention. Then the next thing you want to do is get grounded in your body. The way you do that is you become aware of your breath. Do you know that most of us unconsciously hold our breath quite a bit because we're afraid? We're just breathing to our collarbone, and that's why we feel anxious. We're just not getting enough breath. So practice with the idea of using your imagination, however that works for you, to pull up your breath from the ground up, like it's holding you, like the earth and the universe is supporting you. Breathe deeply. And then let out some stress, because stress and anxiety scramble the intuitive channels. That's really important, to just let out sound, a big sigh. De-stresses the body. The other thing is to empty the garbage. Name the things you're afraid of, because it's hard to get past that to your intuition. So just start naming them. I'm afraid I'm going to make a mistake. I'm afraid I'm going to mess up. I'm afraid I'll be left behind. I'm afraid of that person. I'm afraid of my boss. Now, you're not emphasizing or giving that power. You're just dismissing it. You're purging it. Then you come back to your heart, and you come back to, and these are my goals, and I'm open to being guided. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about today is that question. And I talked about it last week. Are you open to being guided? Are you available, or do you have very strong mindset and judgment and opinions, and this is the way it is? Because that's going to completely interrupt your intuition. My best advice is to say, I don't know. I'm open. This is what I know for now, but I'm open to learning something new. My mother used to say, never assume what you know is all there is to know. And that's a big block for a lot of people's intuition, is they think they know something, and they might have heard something or learned something 50 years ago, but they don't know today. So open mind. It's another big one. As you're listening, make notes. Put it in the comments. Am I a clairvoyant? Am I a clairsentient? Write down your goals and priorities. What are my goals and priorities for today, for now? And am I open? What scares me that might interfere? You can put that in the comments too, because you'll release it. That'll open up your guidance. And then the next thing is to actually stop. Get into your body and check your vibes. First of all, am I ignoring intuition? So I'm going to ask you, what are you ignoring? because our intuition is a constant inner hum, a constant inner communication that we simply need to pay attention to and give priority to. I had a guy who was saying to me, I'm not intuitive. That's all crap. You're just woo-woo weirdo. And then I pointed out to him, well, you're stuck in the last century, so you're not being very modern or current. So then we moved along, and I said, well, just humor me. This is something my mom used to say all the time to my dad. Humor me. I said, if you were intuitive, if you were in the wildest dreams intuitive, what is your intuition telling you right now that you're ignoring? And because I maybe captured his interest or captured his imagination, he said, well, okay, fine. If I were to say my intuition, it's telling me that I need to buy a house this year. I've been waiting and I've been holding off and I need to buy a house. I said, okay, now you have a choice. At least you acknowledged it. Well, that was the end of our conversation, but that was in 2022. And here's what happened. He said, he wrote to me and he said, once I named that, I actually felt motivated to act on it. And I bought a house within a few months. And then after that, in the COVID frenzy and everything going up in smoke, I got a house at a good price before everything it had already been going up. But then it went crazy, but I got a house. And I don't think it could have even afford one now had I waited 6 more months. So thank you. That really surprised me. He said, I've been spending a lot of time arguing with you, but that conversation actually helped me. So ask yourself, what am I ignoring? Your intuition is trying to help you right now. And it's right there. It's simply a matter of voicing it. Now, I have some tools to help you. One that I've mentioned in the past, and I'll mention again, is my Trust Your Vibes guided journal. I don't have a copy of one with me. I give them away. But the guided journal has you write down just 5 minutes a day the things you might otherwise be ignoring. So I've mentioned it before. It is a powerful tool to get your intuition really activated and fine-tuned and you noticing because it's there. And if you're new to this, another really good tool is the book I wrote, this one. I've mentioned it before. It's if you're just coming online, you want to do this, you have a lot of obstacles, a lot of hesitation, you're not in the habit, nobody around you is supporting you, get this book, 21 Days to Jumpstart Your Intuition, because this book has step-by-step, baby steps that you can do. Doesn't ask anything too big. It's really exercises in paying attention, acknowledging, and then acting on what you're feeling in a way that doesn't overwhelm you. And it's fun and easy. Now, as you begin to work with your inner guidance, you begin to notice that you have help. So that's the other thing, the final point for today is you have help. You have a higher self. You have spirit guides. You have angels. And this might be a huge stretch for some of you, but let's just humor yourself and imagine that you do. What would change if you felt that you had help and support? I wrote about that in this book, Ask Your Guides. This is my #1 selling book. People have said it has changed their life. So if you want to learn all about your angels and guides and help, Ask Your Guides. And by the way, all my books are on audio. So if you're not a reader, you can just listen in little bite sizes while you're making dinner, like a podcast. Just integrating this information bit by bit. And in integrating, you begin to think like an intuitive person. So I just want to share with you a little personal story. I live part-time in London, but mostly in France, and I am ready to take the French national language test. And I just kept flunking. Okay, I know all about it. I'm super interested. I really want to do it. Why can't I do this? And then it occurred to me, I need to imagine I'm a local. I need to start thinking, not like I have to learn this different thing, but that this is my new way. And guess what? Everything changed. all of a sudden, all those blocks, I got out of my head. And I started to get the feeling for conversing this way. It started coming to me far more naturally. And I thought, this is interesting. It's exactly the same when you're learning to be intuitive. So my final message is think like you're intuitive. Just pretend you're intuitive, because in that imagination, all these natural inclinations just start to flow without your mental interference. Have fun with it. We are designed to be intuitively guided, very empowered, highly creative, manifesting miraculous beings. And that's what this channel is all about. That's what these tools are all about. That's what I've devoted my life to helping everybody become. So this week, write down, am I clairvoyant, clairaudient? If you don't know, imagine it. If I were, which one would I be? Just like I invited that guy to do. Secondly, what are my goals and priorities? That's a big one. For right now, not your life's plan, just today. And then ask for help and guidance. Imagine what it is you want. What do I want? Because then your inner senses and your divine support system and your outer senses can all work in this beautiful choreography to lead you to the solutions or the outcomes or situations you're looking for, and away from the drama that you might be in that you don't want to have anymore. And then I want you to pretend for a week. Just pretend. If I were intuitive, what is my intuition telling me? And then if you really want to make it powerful, write it down. Trust Your Vibes Guided Journal. Write it down, because that will be the most interesting book you own if you use that guided journal, because it will record every internal genius energy coming through, and it will change your life and make you the empowered miracle maker you're designed to be. So that's my message for this week. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new, please subscribe if you enjoyed this, and tell your friends. This is a group experience. We do better if we have backup. And if you don't have backup, you can always come to my website and join my tribe, my Good Vibes tribe, because we do need support. So you can check that out, and you get all kinds of people who are working with you and supporting you. And we're doing this together. So thanks for tuning in. I hope that this really jumpstarts your intuitive abilities and sharpens them up and gets you in the flow and helps you live as a fifth dimension, conscious, exciting human being. And I will see you next week. All my love.